I guess it's to all three of you, but it was actually directed primarily at Richard, so apologies. I don't mean to be rude. I probably will be about to be rude. One of the reasons why we're doing this bill is because, in part, platforms, especially like Facebook and Meta, just haven't fulfilled their obligations morally around protecting children from harm. And I just want to know from you what's the commitment you're doing within your organisation to align yourself to deliver on the requirements of the bill? Because, to be frank, the track record is appalling on where it's been to now, and all I hear when I have these witness sessions, including before Christmas on the Joint Committee, is as though the big platforms think they're doing a good job. They're all fine, they've spent billions of pounds, and it's not going anywhere. So I'd just like to know what are the practical measures you're going to be putting into place following this bill coming into law.
Thank you. And of course, I don't accept that we've failed in our moral obligation to our users, particularly our younger users. That is the most important obligation that we have. I work with hundreds of people, and there are thousands of people at our company who spend every single day talking to individuals who have experienced abuse online, people who have lived experience of working with the victims of abuse, and human rights defenders, people in public life such as yourself, to understand the impact that the use of our platform can have and work every day to make it better.
But do you accept there's a massive gap between those that you perhaps have been protecting and those who are not protected, hence the need for us to do put this law in place?
So we publish every quarter this transparency report, which is our attempt to show how we are doing at enforcing our rules. We publish there how many of the posts that break our rules we take down ourselves. We also publish our estimates of how likely you are to find a piece of harmful content on the platform. I mentioned that it's around 3 in every 10,000 for hate speech right now. But we fully recognise that you won't take our word for it. We expect that work the confidence in that work to be earned, not just assumed. That's why last year we commissioned Ernst & Young to carry out a fully independent audit of these systems. They published that report last week when we published our most recent transparency report. Again, I'd be very happy to share it with you here. But when the bill is in, the reason we've been calling for many years for pieces of legislation like this bill to come into effect are because we think having Ofcom, the regulator, as my colleagues here just said, able to look at in more detail at the work we're doing, to assess the work that we're doing, to identify areas where we could do more, is a really important part of what this bill can do.
I'm conscious of time, sorry, because I know colleagues want to come in, but what are the practical measures? What will you be doing differently moving forward following this bill?
So, to start with, as I said, we're not waiting for the bill. We're introducing new products, new changes all of the time.
Which will do what? Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but what will they be?
Well, I just spoke about some of the changes we made towards young people, including defaulting them into private accounts, additional tools that we've launched around making it possible for people to put in lists of words they don't want to see, many of which actually align with the core objectives of this bill, which are about assessing early on the risks of any new tools we launch, looking also all the time at how the use of technology changes and what new risks that might bring, and then taking proactive steps to try and reduce the risk of those harms.
And may I ask just on a very specific point, will that include enabling bereaved parents to see their children's Facebook posts and profiles?
So this is an issue that we've discussed actually at length with DCMS, the department, and we've consulted with a number of people on this. This is, of course, one of the most sensitive and delicate and difficult issues we have to deal with, and we deal with these cases very, very regularly. The process as it exists at present is that, of course, there are coronial powers, and there is a process in the UK and other countries for coroners to request information. When it comes to access for individual parents or individuals to accounts, at present, we have a system for legacy contacts on some of our services where you can nominate somebody to have access to your account after you pass away. We're looking at how that can be expanded, but unfortunately, there are an awful lot of different obligations we have to consider there, not least the obligations to a person who used our services who then passed away, because their privacy rights continue after they passed away too.
Compassionate element, but I'm conscious of time. So